Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another day, another week of the Daily Grind. Back with another day, another episode of the Daily Grind. We're here 4 days a week, 10 o'clock in the morning Eastern Time. On today's show, we're going to be going over Wayfinder. Now, a lot of you guys don't know what Wayfinder is. I had to do a lot of information about this because we only saw a small little glimpse of this game on the Video Game Awards show. Now, this is a new format that we're doing here on the show where we take one topic and focus on that topic for a bit, and where I give you the info of the story up front, and then we discuss it with the live chat. If you'd like to be a part of these live streams and get notified, make sure you hit that bell icon down below and hit that like button. It helps out the channel grow. Okay, so now Wayfinder is an upcoming free-to-play MMO from Airship Syndicate Entertainment and Digital Extremes. Now, y'all know Digital Extremes from the other well-known free-to-play game Warframe. Now, Warframe has been around for a decade and is loved and hated by many, all depending on what side you land on. Now, I really like Warframe. I've said this in the past, that if I played Warframe before I played Destiny, I might have played it more. Okay, but Destiny kind of skewed me on this type of game. But I'm looking forward to seeing what Wayfinder brings to the table. Now, Digital Extremes helped Airship do this, right? So Airship Syndicate is the main developers of this, working along with Digital Extremes. Now, the art style reminds me of Dauntless and Torchlight, right? So let me show you a little bit of what the game looks like here. Okay. This will play in the background as I give you some information. This will just go loop. If you guys remember this, you'll remember this from the Video Game Awards show. Now, it says that basically Airship comes out and says on their website, they put a post shortly after the state, of this, when they first showed this at the Video Game Awards show, that we felt good to finally say out loud, for the past few years, we've been working tirelessly with Digital Extremes to develop this game in secret. We're excited that it's finally in place where we're ready to be shared. Suffice to say, today was a huge milestone, and this was like a month ago, right? This is a month ago before when they posted this. Wayfarer is a game that we've aspired to make for a very long time. All you have cherished memories of stories tied into gaming with friends and family, and a genre we all felt in beloved moments best from the MMOs. With Wayfinder, we set out to capture that feeling, but it's in our way. We meant to creating a world that expands for years to come. So you can see that this is going to be obviously MMOs come out. Some make it, some fail. These guys want to be out here for a really long time. It says, with vast social systems to encourage adventures to friends, old and new. One of the reasons we partnered with Digital Extremes is the understanding of the community's importance when crafting a game like Wayfinder. When I read the Wayfinder, I want to say Warframe for some reason because of Digital Extremes. We've built trust by creating games that are free and fair for all. These are core philosophies and embrace, and we're committed to using the feedback to shape the game now and well into the future. Now, this announcement is just the start of a massive journey where we're in for a long haul. Before we fully release the game, we want to ensure it's looking and feeling polished. Way better, what better way than letting people play it and starting next week? So this is in December. So the week after they announced it, they opened up testing for people on the PlayStation 5. Now, as we work towards early access, they say, the eventually free-to-play release as many platforms as possible. So the game plan for them right now is to put this game on PlayStation 5, I believe, not PlayStation 4, just PlayStation 5, Steam, and then down the road in the fall when it comes out, like playtesting right now is just for PlayStation, just for PC, and then down the road it'll be on all consoles as it goes. Now, the world of Wayfinder is meant to evolve with new characters, weapons, quests, or areas, and more. It's a game that will improve, grow, and expand for years to come. It says, thank you for involvement of your voice, and we're hoping to join us on the thrilling adventure. From everyone here at Airship Syndicate, thank you for being part of the journey. Now, we're going to bring up the website here, and we're going to go into, read the website and go into more depth of what this game is. Basically, what this stream is I didn't know what Wayfinder was. We saw what this game was, a tease, and I didn't really go look into it until after the new year. And I was like, you know what? A lot of people don't know what this game is, and maybe they might be interested in it. So I was like, let me do a stream, Let me do a live stream, and we'll just read through their website and tell you what it is. Good morning, Lurker. Good morning, Turtle. Good morning, Dan Before Time. What's going on, man? Good to see you. Yeah, I signed up for the beta. So let me switch over to their website over here. This was their announcement. That was the letter. We have frequently asked questions. All right, let's go to the frequently asked questions first. Okay, what is Wayfinder? Wayfinder is a character-based online action role-playing game you'll choose from a variety of characters to control, each with a unique play style and abilities to harness the power to defend against enemies that seek to destroy their beloved world. You can endlessly customize your adventures, making no two the same, exploring dungeons, hunt beasts, and battle enemies with friends to gather crafting materials for weapons, housing, augments, and more, and it will be of utmost importance to strengthen your character and pushing back the hostile forces called the Gloom. Okay. Is this an original game? He says, yes, Wayfinder is a totally new and original game from Airship Syndicate. What is the inspiration for the game, they say? With some of our past titles, it was easier to point to the classic games of inspiration. Darksiders was clearly Zelda and Battle Chasers. Night War is a love letter to Final Fantasy and other JRPGs, or JPRGs. The new project is more nuisance of some of the fondest memories when gaming's our stories have made and the worlds that we share with friends and thousands of others. We want to capture the feeling of an MMO, getting online, hanging out with friends, and making new ones going on countless adventures. Building a diverse community and seeing the world grow over time is a massive motivation for us in this project. Where is Wayfinder being released and when? Wayfinder is in early access in spring of 2023 on PC, PlayStation consoles, and will be free to play on multiple platforms in the fall of 2023. So they want this game to come out. They're doing early access testing. I'm going to try to get into the early access testing. I missed the one in December. I signed up for Steam. Obviously, I don't have a PlayStation 5. So if I do play, I can't talk about it, obviously, because you have to sign NDAs. The next test is still under NDAs. And the ones after that, I believe in February, will open up and people can start talking about it and whatnot. So basically, we're not talking about anything about the game because I don't know anything about the game. We're going to their website and talking about this. I'm also not sponsored. They didn't ask me to do this. I happen to be interested in this game, just like I wasn't interested in Lost Ark and all these other type of games. So that's what we're doing here. So when can you play it? You can play as early as December 13th. This is the one I was just talking about that I missed. We'll be kicking off your first PC test. We'll be inviting a small number of players to see the world in Wayfinder. Now, the testing core systems and technology for the game, so the test is covered under a strict NDA, no streaming or discussing of the game. Now, sign up today here for a chance to get the early look for the future playtests and betas. So, obviously, go to playwayfinder.com if you want to get part of the early access, and you can sign up there. Now, what does control the chaos mean? Now, what they're talking about here, let me go over to this other section here, because here's the synopsis, okay? Here's the synopsis of what the game is. It says, what is Wayfinder? Wayfinder is the world of Evanor is shattered, and the most become a Wayfinder to control the chaos, which is overrun your world. Join forces with friends online to strengthen your powers and control your action-packed endless adventure with vast customization modifiers and then exploring the immersive world collecting and crafting. Become a Wayfinder. Control and harness the power of mighty Wayfinder. Yield a variety of unique abilities ranging from emitting arcane magic, lethal melee to mystical tech. Traverse the immersive world with other Wayfinders and shape the adventures the way you want. Control what you explore and what enemies you fight for the best customize how you want to play. All while uncovering the secrets, good and bad, of each of the characters you control and captivity narrative woven throughout the game and get to know each unique Wayfinder. Okay? It says control the chaos. This is what they're talking about in the questions, right? So as a Wayfinder, you're bandished from the device known as the Gloom Dagger. Okay? Wielding the dagger allows you to step into the gloom-stricken world and begin to existing adventures, customize each of your play sessions with a dagger to control what beasts you hunt, enemies you fight, and materials you want to collect. So, this does sound, and let me know if you guys kind of agree, this does sound like a Dauntless a little bit, right? It does sound like a Dauntless meets a Torchlight, meets type of other games, but that's why I'm getting the art style definitely reminds me of Dauntless meets Torchlight kind of mix. But Let's listen again. Customize each of your play sessions with the dagger to control what beasts you hunt. Right? So you're going to pick and choose. You can see a little thing here. You can pick and choose. You stab your dagger into the thing, and you're going to go into a instance, I would assume that's what it looks like, and you'll get to fight them and get the materials you want to collect, right? So we're seeing a style like a Dauntless or Monster Hunter, I should say, right? I say more Dauntless, obviously, because of the play style or the art style of it. I kind of like games like this, right? When we played Monster Hunter and we played Dauntless, I really liked those type of things because you weren't dropping to get a weapon or a piece of armor. You're dropping materials from these certain things, which makes you kind of go out and make you go do the thing. So obviously it makes you change your play style. If you need a certain material from this beast or from this area, you're going to go do that specific thing. Like, I love Dauntless and Monster Hunter because if you need a tail piece, you're going to attack the tail. So it's not just kill the guy as fast as possible. It's, hold on a second, I need the tail, right? I need the tail, I need the horn, I need the face, I need the fur, I need whatever. So it sounds like that's what you're going to get. Again, I'll read it one more time, right? Customize each of your play sessions with a dagger to control what beasts you hunt, enemies you fight, and materials you want to collect. What I also like about that statement is that it's very tuned in and very, like, structured, like a Division, right? I need an AR, I need an LMG, I need a backpack, right? So you can specifically put what you're hunting for. So there'll be a list. Again, I'm speculating here based on other games. You're like, oh, I need this material, I need this thing. Who has it? Well, I know this beast has it. I know it's in this area. And you'll stab the dagger, tell what you want, go in and do the actual thing. So I like that. It says, explore and collect your way. In Wayfinder, exploration is endless. You'll face different challenges along the way and find much to collect. By hunting beasts and expeditions, adventuring through dungeons, and fighting enemies and bosses, you'll earn valuable materials and resources to craft into weapons, augments additional Wayfinders, and apartment items. Yes, there will be apartments. All your hard work will also earn your mastery, which will also make your Wayfinders stronger. So this is also interesting. Okay. Good morning, Jesse Mac. This is also interesting, right? So it says, explore the way you want. You'll face different challenges along the way and find much to collect. By hunting beasts and expeditions, adventuring through dungeons. So we have dungeons. Okay, I know I read some of the Ask Me Anything in the Reddit forums, and there's going to be raids as well. Okay, so you're going to be fighting enemies and bosses, and you'll earn valuable materials and resources to craft into weapons. Again, I like this system, the Monster Hunter system, the Dauntless system, and any other games out there. Instead of killing a boss and getting said weapon, okay, you're getting materials to make the weapons that you want, right? Get the blueprints that you already have. Maybe there's a vendor type of stuff. I also like that you're also going to do augments and additional Wayfinders, right? So there's other characters that you can be able to find. Now, obviously, this is a free-to-play game. Now, when you say free-to-play, that means a lot of things to lots of different people, right? Some people are like gung-ho. They're like, I'm so excited about this. I can't wait to play. Other people are like, oh, microtransactions. And I think there's a balance, right? I think a lot of people are off-put by Warframe because of the microtransactions that are in the game. But my mentality with this is, so for instance, I played a game called Boundless years ago. And Boundless is like Minecraft, but they microtransaction a little bit. I really loved the game. I just didn't have time to play it, but it was a wonderful game. And they microtransaction you with different resources or different packs of coins that you can get. And it was more cosmetic type of stuff. Now, I think that's the way they would do it, like Warframe. Now, Warframe does it in a way where you want a new Warframe or you want a new Wayfinder, Warframe, type of thing. You can unlock. So I don't know if it'll be more of a gotcha moment like Genshin Impact. But I believe that you're going to be able to unlock other characters. It says here, okay, you'll be able to earn valuable materials and resources to craft into weapons, augments, additional Wayfinders, and apartments, okay, apartment items. So obviously there's going to be a lot of grinding involved in this. Okay? This is not hiding behind anything. They're letting you know right now that you're going to be able to earn this stuff. Well, if I can earn something in a game, okay, without paying, they're going to make it pretty grindy. But if you can pay for it and earn it, they're going to make that grind even higher because they want to incentivize you, because it's a free-to-play game, that what's your time worth? Do you want to play 10 hours to unlock certain things to get enough materials to do? They might limit you to how many dungeons you could do or how many guys you can collect or whatever. Again, we're all speculating right now, but obviously we've played games before this that are like this. So free-to-play, you're going to be able to earn a whole bunch of stuff. Now, Wayfinders, obviously, there's I think 5 or 6 right now that they have announced in the game. On top of that, you're going to be able to unlock more Wayfinders on top of that. Okay. It also says apartment items. It says, yes, there will be apartments. So we could just kind of speculate going into this. So there's housing in this, right? So now you can think of Lost Ark. Lost Ark had a housing system in there. And while you had a house in Lost Ark, you would upgrade certain things to get, farming, and you would do a whole bunch of stuff. Albion Online does this. Lots of different MMOs do this type of stuff, okay? So all your hard work will also earn you masteries, okay, which also make you all Wayfinders stronger. So you can see the different types of, real quick, the customizations. They go real fast here, showing you that you can change the customization. So if we're the same character, our characters look different. That's one thing I actually love about, like, The Division, right? I said this the other day when we were playing, that The Division's so good because there's so many different cosmetics. You'll never see the same people wearing the same exact things. There's so many different combinations that you can do. So you can slowly or real quickly see the different weapons and different stuff. So it looks like you'll get a weapon, and on that weapon you'll highlight it, and then on that highlight it'll tell you what you need to harvest and get it. So there's a strict area. You're like, I want this weapon. Go farm it the way you want to go farm it. So that's really fun. It says stronger together. While alone, Wayfinder could traverse the dangerous lands of Evanor by themselves. More Wayfinders are stronger than one. Some Wayfinders can be played solo, but there is also important encounters and quests that will request teaming up with others Wayfinders to complete. So again, it's an MMO. I know a lot of people look at this and go, well, I really want to play by myself, okay? And if you want to play by yourself and you're disappointed that you can't play by yourself, even though they say you can play by yourself, but there's certain things that you're going to need to team up with people. Like if you're doing a raid or maybe a dungeon or certain things, it's just too hard. And some people get disappointed by that because they're like, why do I just want to play a single player game. This might not be for you, okay? Especially if it's a free-to-play MMO, which means massively multiplayer online. So obviously, don't get so discouraged that you're like, well, I wanted to play by myself, but all the content's locked behind something, and I need friends. That's why there's matchmaking and whatnot. So I like doing stuff like that anyway. It says, help rebuild the world. Now, what you say matters. We want early Wayfinders to continue shaping ever-developing world of Evanor. It was suggesting the feedback. This will be important to both before the game releases and after launch. As we grow together, the new content emerges. We encourage you to join the Discord to talk to fellow fans and help us shape the future of Wayfinder. Now, you can also sign up to participate in their playtest betas in there, so there you go. Okay, so that is like the bulk of what it is. Okay, so let's go to the next section here so let's go back to the frequently asked questions. What does the control chaos mean? In Wayfinder, the world has been overtaken by the gloom, and as a Wayfinder, you'll be one of the few powerful enough to push it back to cease the gloom's devastating spread. You'll be entering areas called the Lost Zones. Everything that gloom touches results in shifting changes and chaos. This chaos means that no two adventures into the Lost Zones are the same. As a Wayfinder, you can control the chaos using Gloom Dagger, allowing you to customize your expedition into Gloom with mutators. These mutators can take the enemies your encounter. That's not that word. Dictate. My goodness. These mutators can dictate the enemies you encounter and the crafting materials you might gather and more. But beware, every time you attempt to control the chaos, the Gloom pushes back with its own augmentations and modifications to enemy damage, environmental hazards, and more. Obviously, we play games all the time. Destiny did this. Warframe did this. Even Gotham Knights did this, right? There's augmentations that are put onto enemies that kind of change the landscape of what the thing. I like stuff like this because once you play through the campaign, once you play one character, two characters, three characters, the game becomes a little mundane, right? It gets bogged down. You're like, oh, I'm doing the exact same thing over and over again. What it sounds like here is it says that you can use mutators to dictate the enemies you encounter. So the crafting materials you might gather and more. But beware, every time you attempt to control the chaos, the gloom pushes back with its own augmentations. So this is constant, like if you use fire to, let's say, and again, I'm just speculating here. Let's say you use fire to take away the ice creatures or something, and then all of a sudden the ice creatures adapt and they have a poison now, and then you're like, well, I have to choose between fire and poison. And then people in your group, in your crew, one would have to be one would have to be the other, and it kind of gives it a little bit more life and stretches out the longevity of the game. Okay? It says, do I make a character? In Wayfinder, you play a powerful character that are born of the gloom. Each character is fully voice acted with a story past with shattered connections and relationships, good and bad. So let me break that down for a second. What I like about this right off the bat is if you compare a game to even Warframe and Destiny and Division, the characters that you play in Warframe, in Destiny, in Division, you don't really have a connection with them. You're just a guy, girl, you're a guardian, but there's no backstory of you. You know that you got revived. Here it says in Wayfinder, you play a powerful character that are born of gloom, and each character is fully voice acted with a story past with connections and relationships, good and bad, with other characters in the world. You'll learn about your cast of Wayfinders, both inside and outside of the game, and you'll also switch between characters at will, which is nice. So you don't have to play through the entire campaign. You can switch between the characters as you go. Now, and all of your progress is saved. That's very encouraging, okay? We encourage you to play multiple characters as you unlock bonuses and mastery points account-wide. This sounds like a very big system. So let's say you play like 10 levels with one character and then you switch over to another character. You don't have to kind of like grind up all the way. You're not locked into your character. Yesterday we talked about Redfall, okay? And Redfall, once you make your character, you're stuck with that character. Okay, and you have to finish the campaign for that character before you can really go on, or you have to have multiple saves to play different characters. So this is a huge thing here, right? This actually feels really good. So you can also switch between characters at will, and you'll also progress the save. We encourage you to play multiple characters as you unlock bonuses and mastery points account-wide. Good morning, Wonder Rose. Okay. It says, can I customize my character? Yes, although you'll be controlling a Wayfinder, no two are alike. You can customize both the look and the character as well as how it plays. Choose which weapons to use, what mods to apply, and what talents and skills to augment your powers and abilities with, and more. Okay? What does the typical play session look like? The world of Evenor offers endless exploration opportunities for players to make each session a unique and existing adventure. The foundation of our gameplay focuses on character advancements through hunting specific enemies and gathering specialized crafting components to make you and your friends stronger. Again, so you can see, here's the loop, right? Here's the loop. So choose your goals. Story, can I make this bigger? Did they make this bigger? Let me see if I can make that bigger for you guys. Okay. So it says choose goals. Overlands, Lost Zones. So choose goals. Story quests, side quests, daily jobs, expeditions, discoveries, item crafting, and customize apartment. Okay. Overlands, Shattered Adventure Space, daily exploration rewards, action-based community goals, landmarks and vistas, beautiful custom geography, and reveal Lost Zones. Lost Zones, instant dungeons, endless challenges, rich with loot, player influence variables, and random generated. So it says, okay, so you're going to enter the zone, encounter new creatures, collect resources, complete events, make discoveries, complete quests and jobs, hunt area bosses, and location new destinations. Rinse and repeat, and then that's the loop, right? That's the loop of it. So it says, can I play Wayfinder solo? So this is the question we had earlier, okay? While Wayfinder is a social game at heart, it features a main story quest, side objectives, and other stories that can be experienced solo. However, a lot of the game's more challenging content will require friends, old and new, to help you overcome them. So this is what I was saying earlier, right? You can play this game by yourself, but there's going to be sections that you need people to play. So I know a lot of people don't like playing games with other people. So just know going into this game, just like any other MMO, there's going to be things that are cut off to you because you can't do it solo. And I don't think that's a big deal. I think that's it's okay. It says, will there be housing? Yes, apartments will be something that is more than just a social space in Wayfinder. There will be important to our core play experience and act as a second paper doll of sorts, where you can upgrade the augment of your power. Stay tuned for more details on this later. How many weapons are there? Currently, we have 4 different weapon classes. In our reveal trailer, you'll notice a sword, a shield, dual blades, rifles, and 2-handed melee. Remember, each character can equip any weapon, and they choose that each weapon has a unique ability, meaning that one dual blade can cause all the auto attacks to slow enemies for duration, while others could give you a brand new dashing movement ability. These abilities allow you to further customize how you play and build your Wayfinder. We'll continue to expand both the weapon classes available and weapons in future updates. Now, this gets me thinking a little bit here, and let me know what you guys think along the way. Obviously, it's an MMO. There's going to be PvP involved, I would think, okay? And this is where certain games live or die, okay? So, obviously, there's 4 different weapon classes, and let's say the sword and the shield and the dual blades or whatever. If you notice, it says that one of them slows the attacks of enemies for duration. Again, I'm speculating here. I don't know if there's PvP. Maybe they'll even say it later in the Q&A. I don't know. But games like this, especially MMOs, if there's PvP and PvE, if they don't separate the weapons and what the skills do against certain things, like if it slows the movement ability of the enemies, if you're playing PvP, does it do that? Let's just say it's OP. Then there's like nerfing and buffing and certain things happen. So hopefully they have this all figured out and they can figure out that certain weapon classes, available weapons, or future updates as they're working with people, they don't kind of ruin their own game. Other games like Outriders did this, right? Even though there wasn't PvP in that game, they kind of ruined the game because what was the meta, they kind of nerfed all the time, even though, you know, they didn't have to do that, right? So it says, is this game cross-play or cross-save? Yes, Wayfinder will be completely cross-play and cross-save. Well, you know what? That deserves a round of applause, because games nowadays, and especially in 2023, need cross-play and need cross-save, okay? So, yes, Wayfinder will be completely cross-play and cross-save when it's out. Early access is fully released, meaning you'll be able to play anywhere you want and with all your friends, regardless of what platform you're playing on. This is huge. This is where a game lives or dies, because if Wayfinder comes out and people on PlayStation only play with PlayStation, and people on PC only play with PC, and people on Xbox only play with Xbox, the community dies. Dies. I don't care what people say. If you're an Xbox person and everyone's like, oh, well, there's so many people on Xbox and there's no one on PlayStation, or vice versa, the game dies. Okay? It's not hyperbolic. The game is dead if it's not crossplay. Games like this live or die on crossplay. And I'm very happy that they've actually done the crossplay for this. So it says, what will you be selling? Now, with the help of Digital Extremes, we have a fully embraced Warframe free and fair monetization. And I think that's pretty fair to say. Warframe, I think, is a very well... I mean, sure, you could play $50, $60 for Warframes inside there, but they come with a bunch of stuff, right? But you could play Warframe completely free. You could play hundreds, thousands of hours without spending 1 cent in Warframe, okay? But if you like Warframe, and let's say you upgraded 2 or 3 Warframes, and you're like, oh, I'm going to upgrade a 4th. Oh, I'm out of a spot. Oh, they want me to spend $3 to get a spot. If you like the game, you'll spend money on the game. If you don't like the game, you won't play the game, right? So I think Warframe is a very well and fair method, the way they've been doing it for 9+ years. It's almost 10 years since Warframe has been out, right? It came out in like 2013, if I'm not mistaken. Okay. It says earnable fair monetization. Everything that will be selling in the game is earnable via play. And we also have more details that come later date. This is what I was saying earlier. Okay. Obviously, everything is earnable, but there's going to be a time restraint as far as how long it's going to take you. It's going to be grindy. It's going to be grindy. I'm okay with that, because you're not going to collect everything in the game, right? When someone says, "Oh, it's going to take me forever to earn everything in the game," well, then pull out your wallet, okay? And I'm not for microtransactions, but you're not going to go for everything in the game. You're not going to have 10 characters and collect 10 things for each of the characters. You're going to find your character, and you're going to find the weapon or the armor that you like, and you're going to grind for those, and that's what you're going to do, right? Now, if you're a diehard hardcore player, you're going to collect everything. And if you love the game, it doesn't matter how long you're playing it, right? Catch what I'm saying, chat? Okay. It says, is Wayfinder an MMO? In a lot of ways, it's our spin on the MMO and what inspired us throughout the years. We believe at its core, MMOs are about community and involving the world and persistence when you log off. Wayfinder hits all three of those MMOs defining notes. Okay, and we'll continue to grow and evolve the world experience for years to come. So it's not a traditional MMO. It's going into this MMO, I'm assuming, like Division. I'm assuming like Destiny. I'm assuming like Warframe, where you go out in the world and there might only be 3 of you in the world when you're fighting guys. But when you go back to the social hub, there's going to be like hundreds of people inside there to communicate and talk to and find people to go on missions with, right? It says, will the game be able to play offline? I can tell you no. And it says here, no, Wayfinder is an ever-changing world where social interactions are an integral part in gameplay experiences, and you need to be online to play. It says, how is Digital Extremes involved? Digital Extremes brings years of experience and knowledge when it comes to creating vast, story-rich, online worlds that are player-friendly, community-driven, and ever-changing. Digital Extremes is publishing Wayfinder and leading their invaluable experience across all aspects of the game, and we are here at Airship Syndicate, our developers of the game. They'll be available in English, French, German, Italian, Polish, simplified traditional Chinese, Korean, Turkish, Brazilian, Portuguese, and Japanese. And the business model, last question here, in the business model, Wayfinder will be free to play, and we'll give you more details on the later date, but our philosophy is to maintain a free and fair environment where all the content can be purchased or earned via playing. Okay? So there's the full like rundown of what Wayfinder is. Okay, we're gonna go to the Reddit in just a little bit and go to more in-depth Ask Me Anything questions that they did. But if you like this type of information, we did the information up front. It's a long video, but at the same time, if you want to know what Wayfinder is, this is where you can find it for right now. So I appreciate you coming out, listening, and watching. If you're just joining us, please make sure you share, like, and subscribe. The stream's not over. I am now going to talk to live chat while we're here discussing what I just read. So what do you think, chat? What do you think? Do you think that Wayfinder is something that you would be interested in? Let me go to chat real fast and see what you guys are all saying up here. Let me say good morning to you guys. So Dan Before Time joining us. What's going on, man? Wonder Rose, good morning. Robert Jones, good morning. Water, good morning. Turtle. Jesse Mack, Luke, good morning. Jeff, what's going on? Give me 1 sec. And submit your question up there, and I'll read through the questions as we go. Let's see here. Morning, Wonder Rose. Morning, Robert Jones. It seems pretty interesting. What's the release date? Beta test. Right now, they're in alpha testing. They did a PC beta, and they did a PlayStation beta. Now they're doing, I think this month is a PlayStation 5 beta, and then February is a PC beta again, and PlayStation beta. Turtle says, need more people? Easy. I'll convince my wife to pick up the game then. There you go. Jesse Mack says, this sounds great, but PvP, what kind of PvP is it? They didn't mention PvP. I'm sure the Reddit might have said something. I just brought up PvP because obviously with MMO type stuff, maybe there's no PvP, and I'm okay with that. Sold me already because of crossplay, right, Water? Go on, Luke. This sounds good. Will it be out before Diablo? I think it's coming out in the fall, or official release. No, so it'll be after Diablo, I believe, officially. Found this. Be an early access program in spring 2023 for PC and PlayStation consoles, as well as closed early access playtests. Select players in December of 2022. Right. Yep. So this will keep me on changing the world or map. Then you log off. Wait. So is it keep on changing the world or map when you log off? No. Procedurally means basically when you log off, your friends can continue playing. So I don't know if the world doesn't shut down. Like if it's a single-player game, you're shut down, and when you turn it back on, it comes back to life. But it constantly goes. So I don't know if it means like if certain things change, like I mean, I'm sure there's a day-night cycle. There might be, let's say, a boss appears and it's on a timer. Stuff like that might be, oh, well, this guy only comes out every 15 minutes or he only comes out once a day. I don't know if they're doing that. But something like this is what they could potentially do. What's going on, Victor? It's FTP, so I'll check it out. Right, free to play. Free to play. YouTube Lurker says, Battle Chasers had 6 classes, each with the offense and defense tree. Even with the max level, you did not have enough points to fill in the tree, so you had to choose a style. They did a good job. Well, here we have. Let me go in because they do talk about the characters a bit here. They do talk about the characters a little bit. Let's go back over here. So they go into a little bit more. It says Wingrave. Let me make this a little bigger for you guys. Wingrave is a Templar clad in Spellforge armor, sustained by his faith of architects. Now, as natural leader and true champion, always ready to defend the innocent and smite the forces of evil. I like the art style. I think the art style looks really good. Again, I think it looks like Dauntless meets Torchlight. That's the art style I see with this, right? It says the Seeker. Complexity, he seems pretty low. Okay. Wingrave excels at the close combat. He specializes in supporting allies, summoning shields of light, and healing his allies, even as he calls down the divine judgment on his enemies. And you can see his support and defense are really high. His offense is low. His range is very low. And you can see some of his gameplay here. Right. Again, the world. I mean, what do you guys think it looks like? I think it looks like a Dauntless meets Torchlight. I'll say it again 1,000 times. I can't think of another game. But again, of the architects, long before the gloaming, he fought monsters in the shadows and defended the people of the Empire from terrifying threats of the maze. He's a natural leader and true hero, born up on the honest faith and light of the Empire. These are things that Wingrave's Echoes remembers when they first reborn of all champions. Wingrave is one of the who most feels like a hero, a true champion of light. However, as a player uncovers more Wingrave's past, it will uncover a darker side of the Empire and the Archons. The fact that he denies the maze or monsters brutal action like the massacre of the monks of the ultimately Wingrave's Echo will have the opportunity to do better, to be a better man than the original, to live up to the ideas of the champion he could also should have been. So it seems like I don't think there is going to be a PvP. Again, we'll look up on the AMA if they ask the question, if they answer it. So that's one of them. So Silo is the next character that we're looking at here. He's swift, precision. Silo makes every shot count. Born into the family of smugglers, he spent his life running under the radar and challenging tyrants. Now he's using those same skills to fight the gloom. Silo loves long odds, and the greater of the challenge of greater and the thrill. Complexity of him is a 2 out of 5. Silo switches easily between melee and range combat, and is at the best when he embraces the versatility. He has a host of tactical tools, and he can distract his foes with illusions, slow them with oil, or burn them with fire, potentially setting off deadly chain reactions. So you can see his control, support, and range are pretty good. He's a pretty much all well-rounded guy. So he seems pretty interested. I might play him. So this first thing here is called Firebomb. The ability tosses a firebomb and ignites enemies, dealing damage over time. Causes a chain reaction with... Okay, and the last one is Ground Zero. Silo sends an egg out to shock all enemies in the area in a short time, slowing them and dealing damage over time. That's cool. I like the little things. It's Looney Tunes-esque. So, signature weapon is Long Shot. Long Shot has the built-in Slain Vex, the strike shrieks. He won a fortune from an Avatar Reeve in a high-stakes shooting contest and uses the gold to found his network of smugglers. His weapon ability is Deadeye. 3 Deadeye weak spots appear on every enemy in range. Hitting these weak spots results in high damage and guaranteed crits. This guy sounds right up my alley. He sounds right up my alley. I'm not going to read the backstory of these guys. I'm not going to read the backstories of them. Nis is the next one. Nis, she looks like she looks like the rogue of the group here. Nis is a keen of shadows. Darkness serves of her weapon and her cloak. She's one of the Deep Eldarin, an ancient people who now serve as the male violent Percusos. And Nis is her clan challenge. Her family was wiped out, and Nis escaped into the exile, deadly and swift. Nis carries a little of humanity, but she's also sworn to destroy, and the Seekers can help her take advantage. Okay, so Shadow Dancer. Complexity is 4 of 5. Nis is an Elden Shadow Dancer, and her best when she is in motion. She dances around her enemies, defending herself with a cloak shadow and striking them down with spectacular blades or spectacle blades. So she's 100% offense. 100% offense. This is called Wayfinder, Sarge. Wayfinder. So this first thing is called the Shadow Step. Dash in a line, dealing damage after a short delay. Gloom clone with dash from the initial position to you, dealing damage to enemies. So let's watch this again. So she does two attacks back and forth. Signature weapon, Knight's Edge, and sister. Oh wait, I'm sorry. Let me click on these. The Umbrella Aura. Nis is empowered Umbrella magic, causing her next 3 dodges to pierce a nearby enemy with shadow. Okay. The next one, Vengeful Shade. Briefly become immune to attacks and damage enemies in front of Nis. Oh, she does the little Batgirl Batarang move there. And then Gloom Shroud. For the next few seconds, Shadow Step can be used at no cost. She seems pretty fun. Signature weapons, Knight's Edge. The ancestral blade of Duskull, Eldarin, the spirits of the fallen Duskull, are bound to these daggers and strike at enemies are worthy welder. Now, the weapon ability is Dagger Fall, forms multiple magic daggers that float around the player and fire towards enemies and attacks with enemies that come to range. I would like to see what that looks like. All right, the next one, Senja. Before the gloom swallowed the warrior, Senja is the greatest gladiator in the history of Imperial Area. She is the last of the Iron Sisters of the League of the Warriors from the distant Dominion, and 7 wins, and to smite her enemies with both Storm and Steel. Right? So she's the tank. She's 3.5. Senja loves to put on a show. She delights in close combat and can use her infinity for Storm to drag her enemies close to blast from across the battlefield in a burst of lightning. First thing is called the Gladiator Pummel. Punch forward and then hold the showboat. On release, Senja punches again and buffs her next weapon attack. Fully showboating increases the damage and follow-up punch. So she literally showboats. That's pretty funny. Gain favor. Hold showboat for the roaring crowd filling your favor, and on release taunts nearby enemies while buffing Senja and her abilities. So she feels like the Thor of the bunch, right? She feels like the Thor of the bunch. Lightning Grasp, using lightning to pull a displacement enemies towards Senja into a large area. So she sucks them in. I can see good combinations from people when you're playing. And the last one's called the Grand Finale. In a form of lightning spear, Senja charges to smash an enemy, dealing massive damage to them and fully filling out the crowd's favor. That's cool. It's a little big slap. Did you notice that thing they drop? So that's probably one of the materials they drop, right? They're not dropping weapons, they're dropping materials. Signature weapon is Colossus, a ceremonial weapon, the champions of Imperial area. Used only in the most important matches, it's deeply insulting to use a glorious blade against goblins and shrieks. The weapon ability, Gladiator Slice, performs a quick melee attack that buffs the next ability. Using Gladiator Slice again will perform an empowered Gladiator Slice, dealing additional damage up to 2 times. And the last hero they have here is Cryos. Okay. Arcane powers flows through Cryos, and his unleash is forced to devastate his enemies. With the vast survivor and forgiven civilization, a wizard who transforms his flesh into pure mystical energy. Through his people are long lost, the sworn to keep the gloom from destroying the world that remains. He's about a 1.5. While he prefers to avoid close combat, Cryos wields a tremendous mystical powers and can shatter foes with blast of raw energy from arcane shields and crush enemies with massive shockwave. He's 100% offense. Yeah, he's the mage. So he's got the Savage rank, or rank. Ranks is a ground violent energy dealing damage to all enemies in front of Cryos. Arcane fragments can be consumed to cast Savage rank at no cost. Oh, so he's got those things circling him, and he eats those up and uses them to cast them. Next one is Siphon Radiant. Release a wave of energy around Cryos, and it damages enemies and absorbs arcane power, reducing cooldown and granting arcane fragment. He's also got a sickle as his weapon of choice, huh? Arcane Focus marks enemies in the area. As enemies are hit and mark builds up, a power detonates a max or when it expires. That's cool. And then Shockwave. Conjures shocks awe in the sky, resulting in gigantic fist dealing massive area damage. That's pretty cool. I really like the animations. Signature weapons is the Epatha. Crafting the infamous Mother of Shadows. Feeds on essence of enemies. Even if it spills their blood, it whispers to you, urging you to battle. That's pretty interesting. Weapon ability is Arcane Harvest. A spinning slash that deals damage to 360-degree arc and steals ability power from enemies, increasing the player's ability power per enemy hit. So there's he's a far away guy, right? He's range. But it also makes you want to get up close, do this ability to then give you the ability power your enemy hit, right? So you want to get in, hit, and then do the range stuff. So that's interesting. So there's some lookouts for each of the Wayfinders here. And then we don't know who the redacted person is. They don't have this one yet. So there is a 6th one coming. So overall, I'm liking what the guys look like. Now, obviously, the biggest thing about this game is a lot of people are turned off because it's free to play, right? They're turned off because it's free to play. So the game is named after the MacGuffin from one of the worst Star Wars movies ever made. Do they explain if the crafting is instant or time-based like Warframe? They don't say it so far in the information on their website. We're going to go to the AMA on the Reddit and see if they answer some questions there for us, Turtle. I would assume that if it's made by... Well, I shouldn't say it's not made by Digital Extremes. Digital Extremes help them. And they're inspired by what Digital Extremes did with Warframe. So I would assume if Warframe's helping them and publishing it, they probably said, hey, you should put some timers and stuff in it. Not sure, but they could be that way. Half Mage, half Grim Reaper. Glass Cannon, never been in my class. I play it, but it seems interesting. All right, let me look at the question real fast. Jesse Mack says, I've read the headline last night. Star Wars Jedi Survivor update reveals inappropriate content like a-hole and S for poo, giving a T for teens from comic book headline. Is that a question though, Jesse? Creatures, I can't answer that right now because we're talking about Wayfinder. All right, so I'll answer that in a little bit. Is this game predominantly loot based or crafting? It seems like it's more crafting. More crafting, Creature. Because it sounds like it's like Dauntless, like Monster Hunter, that type of stuff where you're fighting enemies and getting resources or materials and then using those materials to craft weapons. All right, so let's go to, I'm going to read up here. One question says, will there be player trading and can trade basic resources? And the community manager says there's currently no player trading. You will, however, be able to offer an imbuement of to launch expeditions for your group or use imbuements to augment events for benefit of friends. When neighborhoods come to online, I'll also plan that you also have slots dedicated specifically to friends placing artifacts that share benefits from neighborhoods and guild housing. That's interesting about the housing situation. Okay. Second question is how many people will be able to play together in endgame content? We know the standard party limit is 3. Will raid/endgame have more players in one group? The community manager says there will definitely be raids with larger group sizes, but this is something we're waiting to drop more details on in the future. So there you go. So yes, you'll be higher. So it's 3-man groups, but during raids, it'll be higher groups. Let's see here. Will weapons be rarity-based or locked behind some other system, like Mastery Rank in Warframe? The community manager says crafting a weapon will be gated by whatever content drops as necessary parts to craft it. So there you go. That answers your question, Creature, and that answers anybody else's thing. So crafting a weapon will be gated by whatever content drops the necessary parts to craft it. Some will definitely be be crafted sooner than others, but there are also no other gate on getting the drops other than finding the resources necessary. So it doesn't seem like there's a timer, but it does seem like the rarity of the actual materials themselves could be short on the other, right? Like if let's say you level up 6 times, right? And then that 7th time is like getting to like legendary status. And again, I'm just thinking process. Maybe that resource you need to level it up from common to legendary, or you know what I mean? That would be hard to get. So you might do like 6 things before you get the 1 drop type of thing, right? You could get lucky. It says, about healers, since you don't want to enforce a rigid holy trinity, us healing addicts can still accept to get more support as focused on healing as Wingrave. And will there still be relevant of helpful at all levels of play? He says, we actually have another healer coming very soon, with a 3rd already slated further out. We are trying to do our best to make sure each character has a place and shines in their place where the teammates can help fill the gaps. We also expect the next healer to feel different than Wingrave, to give the healing addicts some different styles to play with. That's interesting. So there's going to be more multiple healers, multiple offensive guys, but they're all going to feel different. So you don't feel like, oh, a healer's a healer type of thing. Let's see. Have you guys thought about potential Wayfinder abilities regarding summons of pets management? Something that's keen of Necromancer to summon a ghouls or hunter range has pets. Yes, for sure. We couldn't do one early on, and we'll still be working on like creature AI and pathfinding. So there you go. So they're going to add like some sort of companion creature to summon or whatnot, right? Okay, here it says, you talked about player housing being a prominent feature, and also that guild/clans will be a part of the game. Can we also expect guild halls as an extension of those systems? The community manager says, we have talked a lot about supporting guilds, which was also come a little later down the line. This will extend to housing eventually by allowing guilds to build their own neighborhoods and meeting spaces, adding extra benefits to the members. That's interesting. Like, I know Warframe has the dojos for guilds and stuff like that, right? And then obviously you have your own ship. So the ship in Warframe is like your housing, and then your guild base is your base. One person says, I saw a clip on the Twitter where there are players that jumped over a gap in the floor. Are there jumping puzzles? As players explore an overworld as well as the lost zones, they should be prepared to overcome physical obstacles such as platforming and loot rewarding puzzles. There you go. Here's another question for player housing. Will player housing apartments be featured in multiple towns/areas, or will they main hub city? Hold on. Deleted question for some reason, but question was, how many concept artists work on project? Oh, they don't answer this guy's question of the housing. Okay, they don't answer that. Let's see. Besides new heroes, how else do you plan on introducing new content, if at all? We're approaching every season as contained chapters that works as tell the larger ongoing story of the game. This will allow us to do introductions or introduce new locations, bosses, and enemies, as well as relevant older areas. Revitalize older areas with new mechanics and revelations. That actually seems really cool. So let me read the question again. Besides new heroes, what else do you plan to introduce new content? Okay. They say we're approaching every season as a contained chapter that works to tell a larger ongoing story of the game. This will allow us to introduce new locations, bosses, and enemies, as well as revitalizing older areas and new mechanics. I've complained about this. I've complained about this in Destiny. Division actually does a really good job. Like when they introduced the Black Tusk got thrown back into areas that we've already been, right? It's new villains inside an old section. Destiny didn't do a very good job with this, right? Destiny was like, that was it. And you never went back to the Cosmodrome. You never went back to the moon. You never went back. They sold you that stuff later on as they went on. This is like, let's say stage World 1, you played for three seasons. Then Season 4, they update World 1 again. So you're going back and doing things. So if you're completing the campaign and then you get to Season 4 goes back to the main campaign area again, it'll be different. Now, I wonder if you didn't complete it before Season 4, let's say, starts, can you experience what they were in Seasons 1, 2, and 3, right? It goes on to say, we are both implementing a deep discovery system that will reward exploration and fill in the lore and the history with each update. Every season will give us an opportunity to add new resources, new weapons, new relics to craft, new creatures and echoes to loot and equip into new material, new meta builds. There is much more planned just than new characters. Stay tuned. There you go. Are there going to be mounts? If yes, can we have some anytime soon? Mounts are something we are really excited about and we're already building out and the content for. We're also still figuring out some technical details about shared spaces and world size, but they're also not far off, looking awesome. Stay tuned. Let's see. What has been the hardest part working on this game so far? What do you think of the biggest challenges from now on? We don't really need to know that one. Can we adjust and modify the UI? So if you want to routine earlier where we know versions of some straight bar, and also could change the diamond when playing it with a controller. We moved away from just due resources, but I can see an update in the future where players specifically specify their preferences. We also committed to ongoing support accessibility as well as creative customization to the UI. There you go. Will there be drops that are like 0.00001% and that are favorite aspects of the loot-based games? You make us feel proud when you get the said drop. There will definitely be some super rare drops. All right, so there you go. Right? Sarge says, I'm going to be honest. It looks decent. However, it's free to play, and it's going to be grindy. So depending on when it releases, I won't last long as a big title. Too many time sync games are coming out. That's very true. I think that's a good conversation to have, Sarge. I think we could have on GXG on Thursday. It says, can you give a rough estimate on how much in the game will have voice acting? Are fully voiced acted story cutscenes something that we can expect while we see through the story? It says, we are hoping to jam-pack this game with voiceover featuring some of the best actors in the business. More on that later. But you can also expect cutscenes to be fully voiced, as well as the main story quests. We're also hoping to have some fun banter between the Wayfinders when they're near places or characters that they have connected to, which is super fun. So banter like back and forth, like what they did in... Say what you want about Marvel's Avengers, but like in the elevator sequences, you would have them back and forth. In Mass Effect games, you would have, the more you talk to somebody, you would have more chiming back and forth because you get to know the person better the more you play with them. Here it says, have the beta tests gone so far? The items expecting for releases in the scheduled or anticipate possible delays? Honestly, everything has gone smoother than we could have hoped. We're surprised and delighted. Let's see. What are your plans for future content release? Like, do you plan on creating new system mechanics or every new expedition, i.e. big update, or just building on top of what's already there? He says this will depend on a lot of things, which is like which character is coming out with the new season, which the new lost zones we're adding, whether or not the new major overloads are included. So I can see already, before I even continue reading this one, that they're going to do like Lost Ark, like releasing different heroes along each season, like an Overwatch type of thing, like a Lost Ark type of thing. So each season, you know what I mean? So, oh, are you hoping for something? Hoping? Oh, you're talking about the guy. He says here, we don't have any hard or fast rule sets yet for seasons, but we do have a general idea for the cadence we think we might deal. Our early phases of testing and early seasons will help inform this. Broadly speaking, we'd like to do each area of the game to have unique gameplay flavor, and will also often involve new mechanics. This is how you keep things fresh. It's something that we'll work on and building up to the top, and what's already there is natural part of the not so quite, but maybe MMO allure. It makes the game bigger, better, and also offer a fun change of pace when something you've grown accustomed to as some new wrinkles. Sarge brings up a good point, right? Sarge brings up a good point as far as, regardless of how good this game is, we're each going to have our game that we're attached to, right? So for instance, let's put it out there, right? If, let's say this game came out during the same time frame as like Hogwarts Legacy, okay? Are you going to play Hogwarts Legacy, or are you going to play this brand new IP? A lot of people might pick an IP they've been waiting for decades, which is Harry Potter, right? Are you going to play this or the Transformers game? A lot of people will probably pick Transformers over this because this is a brand new IP, and other people know what the IP of Transformers is. Are you going to play this, or are you going to play, you know, the Star Wars massive game that comes out because you know the IP, but you don't know this IP, right? It doesn't matter if it's the same type of game of MMO or a loot-based game or a local MMO type of thing, or light MMO type of thing. This is always going to have a hard sell, because this might be great. It's free to play, right? Transformers is free to play. Warframe is free to play. Fortnite's free to play. So there's only so much time people have to play certain games. And if you don't know what this game is, which 99.9% of you didn't know what this game was. I didn't know what it was until a couple days ago, okay, when I looked into it. we're not going to pick this game over a well-known IP. You know what I mean? I played Transformers and Star Wars and take uniform cheap shots at people who decide to play this because I'm a gamer. Right. But you see what I'm saying? I can say 100% that if this game comes out and I like it, I'll play it until that other game comes out. Whatever game that is. Okay? This game has to do, and it's not fair. It's not fair in any way, shape, or form. But this game has to come out and it has to be like the chef's kiss. Okay? Where a game like Transformers or the Star Wars Massive or Hogwarts Legacy or another IP that we all know and love, that could be a somewhat decent game, and we're going to give more time to those games because you're interested in the IP. It's very hard to come out with an IP and compete with games that are out that people know. Not even know the game, just know the IP, right? Now, think about this game, but instead of an original IP, it was Marvel, or it was Transformers, or it was Harry Potter. Now, that would be, you would be like, oh my God, I'm playing this game, right? This sounds very, very interesting, very, very cool, but would you dive into this game when all of a sudden, right? Like, are you playing this, or are you playing Hogwarts? Are you playing this, or Starfield? Are you playing this, or Transformers? Are you playing this, or Spider-Man? You see what I'm saying? I know they're all different types of games, but time is time, right? And do you sink this much time in? Or do you play the latest, greatest God of War game, you know? So what you're saying is this game is literally a placeholder for a better game because of the time sink investment. Yeah, sort of, right? And I know that's unfair to say, right? But all of us right now have a game that you didn't know about this game, right? And for some people, this game might come along and this might be your game. This might be your game. Maybe you didn't have a game that was coming out. But if you're a person that's been waiting for Harry Potter for 20 years for a game like Hogwarts Legacy, that might be your Skyrim, and you might play that game and nothing but that game, right? You might be waiting for Jedi Survivor to come out, and that game might be done in 30 hours, 40 hours, but you might play it over and over again because you're a Star Wars fan, and that's 40 hours that you're not playing towards another game, right? So it's all about your time. Like I said this last night when we were playing Star Wars Legos, Skywalker Saga, right? That I really like the game, and I can't play certain games. Like, I'm not playing Midnight Suns because that's like 100 hours time sink. And if I play that every single day on stream, I would be playing that game and that game only for a certain period of time. Hogwarts Legacy comes out February 7th. Jedi Survivor comes out on March 7th, I believe, right? I have 1 month to play Hogwarts Legacy before the game I'm more interested in. Even though Hogwarts Legacy looks so damn good and I'm excited to play it, I'm on a time sink with that, as I'm going to put as much time as I want into Hogwarts Legacy, but as soon as Jedi Survivor comes on, Hogwarts Legacy is getting shelved until I'm done with Jedi Survivor, right? And that's reality. That's reality. It's not fair, it's the truth. Yeah, but you also said Rogue One was mid, so you can have some redemption to get to work. Shut up, creature. Rogue One is mid. It is. It's a mid movie. It doesn't fit with the rest of the stuff. What's going on, Fate? Right? So the time sink is a thing, right? Don't get me off track, creature. I will spend 3 hours talking about Star Wars. Okay? We're talking about Wayfinder. Right? I mean, I'm excited. Everything we've read about this morning about Wayfinder and looking at Wayfinders, we'll bring it back up, right? We'll bring it back up. This looks good. This looks really good. Again, it reminds me of Torchlight meets Dauntless. Okay, it feels like it's going to have a bit of like a Monster Hunter type of feel to it, right? So there you go, Fate Walker. Blue Protocol is on his radar. Now I have a question. Fate. Right? This will answer, right? Let's say Blue Protocol comes out. Are you a fan of that? Like, did you play like their other games that they've come out with, but right? Or is that your first introduction to the game? Actually, it doesn't really matter. Are you going to play Blue Protocol or are you going to play Wayfinder? They come out the exact same day. Which one's taking precedence? Right? Wayfinder knocked Blue Protocol right off your radar. There you go, right? So one is going to take prominence over the other, right? Oh, Creature said, Wayfinder knocked Blue Protocol right off my radar. There you go. I do not know yet. I need to see if there's some betas to try. Yeah, you could sign up. Sign up for the beta. Go to Wayfinder, playwayfinder.com, I believe it is. And you can sign up. There's a beta coming out this month. I believe for PlayStation 5 is this month, or Steam's this month. I forget which one. Creature says, Wayfinder, unless we hear similar things about Wayfinder. Rogue One was a great movie, but not enough space magic. I agree. I agree. The space magic at the end was fantastic. I know more about Wayfinder than Blue. What's up, Risky? Yeah, I don't know much about Blue Protocol. It doesn't intrigue me, Blue Protocol. When I hear Blue Protocol, I want to try it, but at the same time, I think almost of the same type of game as like a Genshin Impact or what was that game that we tried? Tower Fantasy, like that. And I don't know anything about it. I don't know anything about Blue Protocol, right? But just saying the name, that's where my brain goes. Tower Fantasy or Genshin Impact type of stuff, or like that's what it reminds me of. I'll have to do more research about Blue Protocol. Blue Protocol is everything you want until monetization goes to shit real quick. Yeah. So that's the way I feel, and I know nothing about Blue Protocol. But you see what I'm saying? As far as time sink into games, right? Fate, I'm glad you're here. How many hours did you put into Midnight Suns? I know you're over 100, well over 100, right? You got to be well over 100 to beat the campaign, right? It's like 60 hours. I hate that Genshin has turned me on the gacha monetization. 96 hours. You see that's as a gamer, if you buy like one or two games, that's a fantastic game, right? Like if you could put that much time into a game, that's fantastic, right? My problem is I don't have that time, right? For a thing that I don't know if something else comes out, right? I'm really mad. I'll be honest. I'm really mad that Hogwarts Legacy comes out 1 month before Jedi Survivor. It was good value and it has replayability. Oh, for sure. For sure. For sure. Yeah, my discrepancy is not against Midnight Suns for in a bad way in any way, shape, or form. It's the time sink that you have to put into that game, right? It's the time sink you got to put into that game. I appreciate you guys hitting that like button. It does help us our channel out here. We got newly monetized here. If you're not a part of this this community, make sure you hit that subscribe button. It's absolutely free. We're waiting for our membership button to go live. It's supposed to go live sometime this week, but we do appreciate you. We do have super chats and stuff enabled. So all our content is now over on 30 NSG. So we're doing live shows Monday through Thursday, which is the daily grind over here. We're doing uploads, which I just uploaded a video this morning about the Xbox Bethesda event that's happening. So go check that out. We've also done Let's Plays. We did a Let's Play last night of Star Wars, Legos, the Skywalker Saga. We have a podcast that we do on Thursday nights. Lots of content on this channel. So hit that notification so you know when we upload some stuff. Did they say when Wayfinder comes out? There's no release date yet. There's betas happening. So there's a beta in December. December 13th is when they signed up the first beta. You can sign up now. There's other betas going on PlayStation and PC. Once the game is released in the fall, they said, fall of 2023, they said that it's going to be on as many platforms as possible. So right now, it's only on PlayStation 5 and Steam. Okay, so there is going to be... Oh, PlayStation 5 and 4. It doesn't say it right on the screen. PlayStation 5 and PlayStation 4... so you can play it on PlayStation right now, and then it's going to be on Xbox down the road once they file out. But there's no official date yet. I think I've dropped $250 on Ginshi and put at least 500 hours into 7 months, which is about the same scale on the money to playtime. Hey, if you enjoy a game and you're putting the time in, right? I was just talking about this earlier, Fate. Like, some people have a problem with like Warframe's business model, right? And Warframe is probably the low end business model as far as like what they charge. Now, obviously, they charge a lot for, like, you could buy a $60 microtransaction Warframe, decked out or whatnot. Okay, but the way I look at a free to play game is if you play a free to play game, and let's say they give you 2 slots for characters, right? And you level up that first character, and then you start leveling up the second character, and then you're maxed out with both 2 characters, right? You've played those, you leveled them up, and then you're like, you want a third character. And the third character you're playing, but you don't have a slot, and you had to pay $5 for the slot. I don't know what the slot is. I'm just saying, you paid $5 for the slot, and then you're like, oh, I'll start putting money towards the thing. If you have 50 hours, 70 hours, 100 hours into a free-to-play game, and you've never spent 1 cent, and then all of a sudden you spend money, I personally okay with that, because you're giving your time to that game. You know you like that game. So spending money in that game for time spent in the game, I think is good, right? You can be mad, but if you had 3 characters and the third character cost you $10 to unlock that slot to get a third character, you're either mad because you have to pay the $10 to get that slot, but if you've already put in 80 hours, 100 hours into a game, you like the game, so you spending $10 towards that character doesn't make sense to me how you would get mad, right? And there's a lot of people that would get mad about that. Wayfinder and Blue Protocol will come down their monetization content release schedule. The content release schedule for this seems like it's going to be pretty good, and the way they constantly upgrade. All the characters have backstory. There's going to be story content. They're going to add new characters and new story stuff within each season, and they're going to go back to old sections. So like in season 1, let's say you're in section 1, 2, and 3, and then season 2 you're in sections 2, 3, and they add a new section 4, and then season 3 they make more content for section 1, so now you're going sections 1, 3, 4, and 5 type of thing. You know what I'm talking about? They're adding to it and then going back to the old content to make it revitalize it again. Sarge says, so this game is coming out near when? Starfield? Starfall. I always say Starfall now. Starfield. No shot. No shot what? That this game is coming out when Starfield comes out? If we all waited, Sarge, right? And I understand what you're saying. I understand what you're saying as far as there's no way they're going to come out. Obviously, I don't think they're going to come out the same month, right? They're still in early or alpha and beta, or I'm sorry, they're in beta testing right now for this game. With my video that I posted yesterday, or this morning, I should say, Todd Howard had an interview 3 years ago with IGN saying that he wanted to release Starfield as little as possible. Like, not Starfield, but he wanted to release, when they released Fallout 4, he wanted to release it real fast. He said that they would only let him do it 5 months out, but he wanted to do it even closer. So he was talking about in the interview 3 years ago that he would say with the way the world is now, 3 years ago, he said about a week. He said he would love to show the game and then release the game. And that, my friend, is exactly what I think he's going to do, right? This is why they're not showing it at the event. This is why they're going to be showing it a little later down the line. And it might be the event happens on a Wednesday or Thursday, okay? And all of a sudden he drops it right then and there and says Starfield's out today. Because he doesn't have to market it, right? Think about what Xbox can do here. They don't have to market anything as far as... That would be amazing marketing for Starfield. Because everyone's like, first half of the year, everyone's like, it's going to be delayed. And all of a sudden Starfield comes out and it just drops. It doesn't have to go to GameStop. It doesn't have to go to Target. It doesn't have to go to Walmart. It doesn't have to go to any place. It could just drop on Game Pass right now. Boom. And then all of a sudden, a game that's coming out that week is like, oh shit, we got to move our release date. They're not going to do that. They're not going to do that. So right now, Xbox and Starfield can really disrupt what's happening right now. Because obviously we know some games that drop on Game Pass are like, oh, this is the new Game Pass game to come out. and they're just like little games. This is a AAA game. This is a flagship game. This is a console selling game. Okay, and if they just drop it the next day or the next week after they showed some footage, told you some stuff, right? They could just drop Starfield. So obviously, games like this, all games are competing with all other games. Just like streamers and content creators, even though we're not enemies with other content creators, me live right now, I'm competing against every other person that's live right now, plus every other video that's being uploaded. You don't have time to watch me and other things, right? So you only have the choice of watching or playing or doing whatever you want at that time. And there's no way they're going to be like, well, Starfield's coming out, we're not releasing that month. People are going to play Starfield, that's who's going to play that. People are interested in this game, they're going to go play this game. People are interested in I'm playing Division 2 right now, right? I'm level 81, 82 of 100. I'm playing pretty casual. I've got about 3 weeks left. I'll probably hit 100 before it comes out. Can you give me an example of what a long battle pass can contain to a season pass type of thing? I hate to bring this up, but I can complete the Ginshi battle pass casually. Battle pass is if you do not complete it, it all is gone and can't get back. Right. I don't know if I think Division's like that. If you don't beat it, then it goes away. I don't like that, but at the same time, I'm casually playing and I'm leveling up so fast that I can complete it. No, Robert Jones, it has a season pass. It has a season pass. That's what I was saying. I said I don't think Division has a battle pass is what I said. I said I know it has a season pass, right? And I said, what's the difference between a season pass and a battle pass? A battle pass goes away, right? But Halo's doesn't go away. Season pass is prepaid content. Well, there's a free track for season pass as well, right? Battle pass is like Fortnite. Right, free and paid. And if you either pay it and then you have to complete it, I don't like that method. I don't like that method. Like for instance, if I'm done, I'm not gonna buy it, but if I'm done with the season pass in Division 2, I can pay for the season pass and then get the premium part of it, right? Creature says, well, Halo's doesn't go away because there's 72 months in the season. It's so true. It's so true. Their seasons are way longer. Where you have to pay and play if you don't not completing your also have to dedicate 20-ish hours a week, 2 months to complete it. Yeah, I don't like that method. I don't like that method of stuff. If anybody has a question, you can always submit it into the questions section. You can try to keep it on topic of Wayfinder, but if you don't... So let me go back to Jesse Mack's question, because he was asking about Jedi Survivor, and there's a story out there of Jedi Survivor, and we could talk about that a little bit, because we're like an hour and a half into this conversation for Wayfinder. He says, I've read a headline last night that Star Wars Jedi Survivor update reveals inappropriate content like A-hole and S, right? So, and they're giving it a T for teens for comic book headline. Well, I think the game itself is teen for teens. And now they're saying it's problematic. Now, I wonder what YouTube's going to do as far as, is it going to... I've been playing Star Wars Legos, and I've been getting copyright claimed a lot because of the music. Now, Star Wars Jedi Survivor comes out; it's going to have Star Wars music in it, so I'm gonna get knocked for that alone. And now, if it curses or I'm slicing off someone's leg or arm with the saber, there might be a problem with that as well. So I'm as a content creator, I'm a little worried that now Jedi Survivor is not a streamable game. But I might take the risk anyway. Preacher says, and Division 2's pass expires because you can blow through it in 2 days. Right, it's super fast to go through their pass. Sarge is just laughing. My house about the age restriction type stuff when they're saying that if you're sliced, like can people stream Grand Theft Auto anymore on YouTube? Are they allowed to put stuff? Am I allowed to show Division shooting people in the face? I mean, I don't understand what the violence thing is in a video game, right? They don't want to show death as the videos of Jedi Survivor, right? And just the people that are members, you put it behind a paywall type of thing to make up for the monetization ads that you won't get. I don't know, because you can use the videos as to bring in viewership to come into your channel, but at the same time, you're not making any money off those videos if they demonetize you, right? Google's big as hell, but they don't want the mouse issues. All video games are violence. It's going to be an S show, yeah. There's a group of people that like that sort of thing that is being targeted. This is why 15-second thing is being placed, so it can be flagged for review and then addressed. I don't want to go too far into this creature, but I hate the fact that the few make the choices for many, right? I hate the fact in society that there's 1,000 people, but one person is affected by something, and all 1,000 people, the other 999 people, have to bend the knee or stop for that one person. Instead of that one person adapting, the 99% have to adapt, right? I hate that. YouTube only cares about the larger names now. It's the small guys who go away, and watchers will just move to a larger streamer. I believe an 8 to 15-second thing is due to the autoplay feature, right? And the only other option is to disable the autoplay. I don't think that's it. I don't think it's just the autoplay, because there's people that are getting flagged. I don't think it's the autoplay though. I think they're getting flagged way past that. There's someone like 45 minutes into their video saying a curse word, and then all of a sudden they're being demonetized. Now that might be not the majority. Oh, that's the main driver. Oh, is that what it is? The main driver is people getting crapped on. They don't want it autoplay. Ah. Right, you don't want a kid to hear something in the language because YouTube recommended it. Right. But here's the thing. If I make my video non-kid friendly, a kid shouldn't be seeing that. Their algorithm should know that if I'm not kid friendly, then don't show my stuff to the kids. And if a kid is over 13 years old, I'm pretty sure he's heard the F-bomb or the S-bomb or any other bomb. Is this a curse-free YouTube channel? All YouTube channels are curse-free now, Robert. I don't want to get demonetized, right? I don't want to lose ad revenue because I said a curse word now. I hate it. I hate it because that's not who I am. Right? If I had sponsorship by like I don't know, Ridge Wallet, then I wouldn't care. I would say the F-bomb all day long. True, but they can't stop a kid from making a YouTube Kids account. Sure. But then YouTube shouldn't be responsible, because as soon as they find out a kid that's not a kid is watching a non-kid account, that's not on YouTube's problem. That's not on my problem either. That's on the parents and the kids' problem, right? What about those kids that are just browsers of people that are not logging in? Guest accounts shouldn't be a thing then. Like, as far as they shouldn't be shown certain content. A guest account should be equal as a kid account. Right. Welcome to 2023, where everyone's fault but yours. That's what I'm saying. I hate that. I thought we dropped the F-bombs in the older channel. We did, Robert, but they just changed about a week ago. They just changed the rules on YouTube. I still curse, but you can't curse too many times. If you curse too many times, then you get demonetized. That's what I hate. I hate the fact that, like, I appreciate people that can go and not curse, right? But it's not like I'm saying curse words every other sentence or word, right? I'm one of a person that believes that there are no such thing as bad words. Okay? It's just the way you take words, right? They're bad words to people. And if those people are offended by those words, then that's why it's the problem. To me, there's no such thing as a bad word. Obviously, there is the N-word. That's not bad to me, but it is bad to other people, and you don't want to say stuff like that. But that's a whole community. That's a whole thing, right? But if I say S or F, who's getting offended by that? Do you know what I mean? It's BS. Primetime TV is worse than most YouTube vids. It feels like a parent took over of YouTube. Yeah, they're doing so much needed cleaning up to the platform, and some are getting sideswiped automatically. So anyone who's logged in will not be shown your content. Sure, but isn't YouTube trying to get people to log into their accounts to see stuff? I mean, for instance, there's other servers out there, other platforms out there, like what's the other one? Odyssey and like Rumble, that you don't get shown other people's videos. You have to find the videos that you like, and then it would be fed to you. Right? What's going on, Nostalgic? We left off the algorithm, which is much worse than what is currently happening. Sure, but you have to adjust to what it is. If I give my kid scissors and I don't show him how to operate scissors and I leave him in a room by himself, he might get injured, right? Or I can stay in the room and go, hey, don't do that with the scissors. Just use them to cut the paper, right? There's a moment in time as adults you have to watch and teach people certain things. And if your kid's going out looking for bad language videos or watches certain things and doesn't know, those are children. Children need to be parented. Parents need to be parents, right? YouTube shouldn't be a parent. I shouldn't be a parent to people that are watching my videos, right? This is why I put the thing is, I don't want kids watching my videos. I'm an adult. I want adults to watch my video. Nostalgic. We talked about it for an hour and a half of Wayfinder. It's a new free-to-play MMO by Airship Syndicate. And that the Digital Extreme, the makers of Warframe, are publishing this game. It's going to be a light MMO type of thing. It's a 3-man squad. You're going to go out into these worlds, and you're going to be hunting animals or hunting enemies to get resources, and those resources is what you're going to be making your weapons and armor from. That's the 30-second gist of it. The kid will just ignore you and learn from the internet. Exactly, George. I've been here since 2007, and I've seen thousands of changes that were going to ruin everything, and the platform is better than it was ever been and getting better. Well, I understand, Creature. I'm adapting, right? I'm adapting. I'm not cursing, or I'm trying not to curse. But do you want adults that only log in and watching your videos, or any adult, regardless of if they're logged in or not? I understand there's people that are not logged in, or people that use incognito and stuff to watch certain videos, right? But I can't fathom that there's... Like, everyone here is logged in, right? You have an email linked to your account and you're logged in. So, if you're not logged in, you would try to make the experience for people that are not logged in a little bit worse, so it makes them log in, right? Exactly, Creature. That's what I'm saying. I don't think you should be able to use the platform without logging in, right? They want them to opt in. Do you know what I mean? Like, if you're not logged in, then you're not going to get the algorithm because it doesn't know who you are. Every time you watch something, it's going to be... But if you want to be shown certain things, they would try to make the experience worse for people that are not logged in. Now, obviously, if you first time you wake up, you're like, oh, I'm old enough. I have a cell phone. I never downloaded YouTube. What's this YouTube? And you're like, YouTube, and it shows you a couple videos. You're like, oh, this is pretty neat. They want to try to make you log in, make an account and log in. Exactly, right? If they did that, then they would lose out on a lot of money. Sure, but you're also missing benefits from not being logged in because the algorithm shouldn't send you videos that you're not recommended because you're not logged in. Robert Jones says, I don't think you should have to log in, but you shouldn't be routine user without the account. That's exactly what I'm saying, right? Like if I'm every day, there should be like a homepage, and that homepage should be curated by YouTube, right? They actually have to do some work, like curated for non-people that are logged in, okay? It would be like wholesome videos or whatever, right? But if you want to go in as a logged in person, you get other benefits and other things, right? Like maybe you can't chat. Maybe you can't do emotes. Maybe you can't do all that stuff if you're not logged in. Maybe if you're not logged in, maybe you can't watch a full video, right? It gives you like a sampling, like a trailer. Maybe you only get to watch shorts. But the question is, Fate, are those people, out of the people that are not logged in, how long are those people watching your content for, right? Because all the videos that I put up, I can make a 1 minute long video and the average person's watching it for 10 seconds, right? I can make a video for 10 minutes long and the average person's watching it for 2 minutes, right? Is that even counting the people that are not logged in, or is that just counting the people that are watching me that are logged in? I thought it works for some. If you don't log, you're seeing cats. Mr. Beast ass shaking. Would love to see how many viewers globally for one day they would lose if they're forcing logging in for certain content. See how much revenue YouTube and creators would lose. I don't. But at that point, right? Then we can go into depth of the people that are not logged in. Are they bots? Are bots actually watching stuff? Is there an actual person behind the not logged in thing that are watching, or are they computers in a room just watching videos to force the numbers? Because I personally would rather have 100 people that are members than 10,000 people that are subscribers, right? Because the 10,000 people giving me ad revenue off a video is sense, where the 100 people I know are paid people that like the content that I'm creating. I'm going to lose the content I enjoy with the new policy. It sucks. I already have some creators that have changed who they are to conform years of building a persona I've removed. Right. And I'm in that process right now, Matazwa, and I hope I don't lose you. I mean, I'm a person that is still going to talk the way I talk, but instead of saying fuck, I'm going to say, the F-bomb or something, or freak or something. I'm going to become a clean person. And I hate that, right? I hate that because that's not who I am, right? The person I am is that I curse every once in a while because I'm a human being, right? I feel like at this point, YouTube is the trainer and I'm the dog. And when my dog does something wrong, I say, leave it, right? And then he doesn't touch that thing anymore, right? And that's what YouTube is doing to the content creators right now, right? That's what they're doing to the YouTube content creators right now. YouTube is the owner and I'm the dog, and they're telling us, leave it. Right? And you're like, oh, okay, I can't touch it, right? And I hate that. A choice word here and there is not going to get targeted out for the rule. Sure. If I'm talking like a New Yorker on 14th and Canal, someone trying to steal my Folex off my table, that would be a different story. What does the guy with the name like excessive profanity do? Stays on Twitch. That's what he does. This is literally the DMCA Twitch purge of 2018-2019. So YouTube has removed all rage moments now, or what? Well, it's ridiculous. I think a lot of things happen for companies where they overcompensate. Instead of going, Bungie was huge for this, right? When they fix something in a game, they go from completely left to completely right. There's not a dial, it's a switch. Off and on, off and on. That's what it is. Where decisions need to be made for certain things like this, where it slowly turns around, right? Maybe the computer should be smart enough when I curse, it automatically beeps me out, right? I mean, there's AI out there that can literally write a script for you, stream by itself, interact with people, but yet curse words are the bad thing out here. The rule is intended for people who drop the F word 6 times a sentence and the N word every 3 words, or ISIS beheadings, people, just a non-issue for 99% of the creators. Like, you know what I mean? Like, me and Sarge, when we do the Generation X Gaming podcast, Thursday nights, 8 p.m. Eastern. Make sure you check those out every week. We talk back and forth. We're brothers. We have this chemistry back and forth. And now when we get rants and stuff, we're like, frick this and shoot that. Kiss my mother's. You know what I mean? Like we have to like watch what we say. And you definitely can't curse right off the bat. So I can't say morning fuckers. I can't say that in the first 15 seconds. Hello, everybody, and welcome to another Daily Grind. Yeah, MFers. I can remember when cable censoring movies, now every channel lets everything through. Right. We're going to have to assign words to replace the curse words. What, I have to make a sheet like I did back in the day when I had a pager? And I have to do codes to figure out what's what? He stopped saying you beautiful bastards? He seriously stopped saying bastards? Oh, for God's sakes. Aren't there levels to it? Curse words is just remove kid friendly, right? There's a whole bunch of different things, Robert. Like it's so retarded, right? It is because I make my content for non-kids, right? I make adult content. And yet now I have to adjust to kids that may be watching my content because they're not logged in or because their parents are letting them have an account and they don't monitor what they're doing. So what's the point of clicking the thing to be kid-friendly or not kid-friendly? You know how hard that would be to make a beep sound, Jesse? Like if I'm playing, I'm like, you son of a beep. Like I'm doing the beep. That would actually be pretty comedic. That would be actually pretty comedic. Games will not be impacted outside of the first 15 seconds unless the source material is age restricted. Age restricted to what? Teen? Mature? You know? Like Dead Space, source material is age restricted, so would streaming the content not be age restricted? I feel like teenagers are the exception. I vote for beeping noises. Do it like a robot. How do I beep like a robot? I think kid-friendly is just one aspect. But I don't want my content to be kid-friendly. YouTube needs a little prompt that says this channel is intended for mature audiences. Click here to watch. It does. It does. But the barrier is like a kid going, "How old are you?" And they have to scroll down. I've been pushing people to Twitch Prime. I mean Turbo. Yeah, I feel bad. You know what I mean? I recommend people on YouTube get premium. If you don't want to watch any ads whatsoever, premium is worth it. I like using it more for the audio feature, like when I'm in the car. I don't want to waste a lot of battery in my car, so I just put in the audio, the audio only type of thing. Besides buying my own router, YouTube Red is one of the best investments I ever made in my life. There you go. Imagine you had YouTube and Pornhub back when we were kids. Wait. Back when we were kids. We'd probably be a... YouTube Premium is one of the most underrated buys on the net. Yeah, I love it. I've had it for over a year now, but I was always against it. I was like, I don't want that. But then I started watching it and I was like, I don't want ads. And now I don't see ads anywhere, ever. What really sold it to me, Creature, was I was watching a video. It was like a 10-minute long video. And in the middle of the 10-minute long video, there was a 45-minute commercial. I shit you not. Okay? I was like, how am I watching a longer piece of content than the content itself? I see those commercials 30. It's crazy. I just don't get it. I'm like, it's a 10-minute long video in the middle of the thing. So one time, George, I was taking a shower, right? So I hit play on a video. I jumped in the shower, right? It's like a 6-minute long video. All of a sudden, I thought it was the video. But all of a sudden they started talking about other things, and I was like, what the hell's going on? I'm done with my shower. I go out and I look at the phone, and I'm like, what the hell is this? Did it switch? I'm like, no, this is the commercial for the video that I'm watching. Like, this is insane. I think they purposely did that so I would get premium. It sucks when I have to get up and click skip. Yeah. And YouTube has a setting restriction mode. You can actually turn on and off anytime you want. Now, swearing is a big problem now. Why would you have restriction mode in the damn settings? Right. Rumors also swearing that a free channel membership will be added to YouTube Premium. Ooh. That will be huge. That would be huge, creature. That would be huge. That'd be like the Amazon Prime type of thing, right? That would be a good sale. Or even if they did YouTube Red, you know what I mean? You get either a free one with Red or Premium. That would be interesting. I brought it back I brought it back in the day for downloads. I used to work at night in a place with terrible internet. Oh, you bought it back in the day for downloads. Premium, Robert? That's what you did? The reason the big streamers are not worried too much about the YouTube changes because the revenue comes from their own advertisers, not YouTube ads. Right. And that's what I said earlier. Right? That's what I said. If I have Ridge Wallet as my sponsor, then I don't care. Right? I'm going to say what I want. Obviously, if the advertiser has a problem with me cursing, doesn't want me to curse, a little bit before their ad or not, or wants to be associated, that's different. But at least I get to choose who my advertiser is, right? Or if I had enough members on the channel, I wouldn't care. I'm straight up. If I had enough members on the channel, not subscribers, members paying, then I wouldn't care either. Creature says, yep, I've been talking to multiple creators about how they implemented Ray, Jimmy, Ludwig, Timmy. They get some, but it's not the driver. There's ways to download YouTube videos without premium, but it became a hassle. So Wayfinder, do you think it will be the Holy Trinity? What's the Holy Trinity, Fate? I still care. Creature, I'm talking about my size, right? I said if I have 100 members, right? If that one video is demonetized, I would be okay with that. You see what I'm saying? Obviously, if I'm Mr. Beast, I want the ad revenue. If I have millions and millions of people, sure. I guess if I have 20,000 subscribers and I get 20,000 views, 40,000 views, but I would care less if I had members that were paid customers and then I could give them content without worrying about what I'm saying, right? You're talking about a ton of money? Oh, Fate Walker says, or are you trying to do something like Monster, or are they trying to do something like Monster Hunter, where you do not need a healer or tank, but it's balanced that you can keep? So the class, but you're allowed to use the weapons that you want to use. So you could be a healer and use a gun, or you could be a tank and use a sword, right? You could change it up to do what you want. You're allowed to use whatever weapons you want to use. Robert says, I don't think the Holy Trinity. YouTube Lurker says, my mom passed a few years ago, and I'm just glad YouTube can be my mom now. I don't know how to answer that. I mean, I'm glad for anybody. I'm glad for anybody that can find people to hang out with and get away from life. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm sorry that your mom passed a few years ago. I would be devastated if one of my parents, and you know, my parents are in their 70s right now, and when that day comes, I'm gonna be a wreck, right? But I'm glad that you can find a community to be around, Lurker, to be that like stable spot for you. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if you're joking as far as like being your mom making decisions for you or something like that, but or if you're talking about you used to talk to your mom and love your mom, and now you like being around the people in YouTube and the communities that you're being. I don't know if that's what you're saying. I know what you meant, but these big ass channels like Jimmy, Mr. Beast, yeah, he's making a few $100,000 ad roll every month. Oh yeah, I assure you, he still cares. Sure. Maybe I'll change my mind when I get up to that point. Apparently, my iPad thought I was talking to it. I said sure, and it thought I said its name. Is there a guy on your tube that is dad? I can feel the Sonic Mania help me grieve. Sorry, sarcasm. I figure it was sarcasm with YouTube telling me that I can say and can't say exactly. That's why I said I don't know if you're joking, but I was like, at least you found a community and whatnot to be with. I don't know where to go with that. You know what I'm saying, Lurker? I understand the sarcasm because the way you kind of read it, but I was like, is he being serious? I don't want to be insensitive, as George said. Yeah. Creature says, my question is, what will YouTube Lurker's name be when YouTube comes for his name? He'll just be Lurker. Formerly known as YouTube Lurker. Nostalgic says, I'm not joking. Now, I'm laughing at that, but inside I'm like, oh God, Sonic Mania. But Nostalgic, I don't know if Sonic Mania made you cope with it, because Sonic Mania is not a very good game. There's got to be a better game to grieve with. Twitter is dad and YouTube is mom. Terrible. Or you have a fun dad like TikTok. I don't watch TikTok. I don't watch TikTok at all. I do go down the rabbit hole on YouTube Shorts nowadays. What do I mean? I mean Sonic Frontiers. I watch my son play it. It's not a very good game. It's fun, but it's not a very good game. The game would be better if it had like another 6 to 8 months to cook. I feel like they didn't complete the game. I feel like there's still a lot of problems with that game. Oh, you're talking about Sonic Mania. I thought you were about Sonic Frontiers. I'm sorry. I'm talking about Sonic Frontiers. You're talking about Sonic Mania. I got you. That's where the barrier broke there. Fate. Or did our dad go out and get milk and never came back like Mixer? That's right. So you're saying, Nostalgic, back in the day, that you used that game to grief. That's understandable. I thought you were talking about Sonic Frontiers, and I was like, that's a bad game. Because Sonic Frontiers just came out, and that was fresh in my head. Yeah. It was in the moment. It was in the moment. If you guys haven't hit that like button yet, make sure you hit that like button. We have a good ratio. I think we have everybody that's in this hit the like button. It's a good ratio. If you haven't hit it, make sure you hit that like button. Helps the video, helps the channel out. I bought Frontiers on sale. Haven't played it yet. My son got it for Christmas. He played it for a bit. He hasn't played it in the last couple days, but I'm bouncing back and forth between a couple of games. There's this one boss. I don't know what the name of it is. It's like a wandering world boss that like goes around. I don't know if it's a world boss, but it's a boss that wanders around the world, and then he goes underneath this bridge, and then you jump on his tail, and then you like run after him, and you run on his tail. And then you dodge these things on his tail, and then you hit him, and then he stops into this like arena thing, and then you have to hit him. And if you fall off, then he starts again, and you have to try to get back to him before he like heals. He's stuck on that right now. I don't know what it is. I don't know what the name of it is. Now that YouTube stopped people from swearing, Hogwarts Legacy has blood fantasy violence, mid-language. Uses alcohol. I use YouTube doing this is now with YouTube rule. Will this affect this game? I don't know. There's a lot of games. I don't think it will affect it. I don't think it'll affect it. I don't know. I guess we'll find out. Jesse. That boss got me interested in the game. Like me just describing it to you, Robert, that got you interested in the game? Or did you see that boss in someone else's channel? Whatever it is, let him suffer. We did during boss fights. Oh, yeah. He took a break. He couldn't do it, and he got frustrated, and he's like, I'm putting it down. And that's what I'm saying. He hasn't played in a couple days. It's a cool thing. So, like, right now, my son, we got him a bike a little over a year ago, and he tried it, and he was struggling riding that bike, right? And then he stopped riding the bike for a bit, and then he got on back on the bike, and he was struggling a little bit. Hasn't rode his bike in like 3 months. He picked up his bike 3 days ago, or 5 days ago. Hasn't touched it. Got on the bike, and just started riding perfectly, right? Like he was practicing. And I say this because that's like a metaphor for like boss fights or playing a video game. You get frustrated with the video game, and you continuously bash your head and keep struggling and keep falling and getting up, falling and getting up, right? And then you all of a sudden you break through that wall, and then all of a sudden that boss fight that was a problem for you is now easy. And then you continue on, and then you find the next boss fight. I know it sounds simplistic, but it's one of the best reasons why I like playing video games. I like struggling. And I'm glad that my son's playing a game where he's hit his head and like stopped, right? And he's like, you know what, I'm putting it down. Because I told him, I said, if you can't beat it, because he asked me, he's like, Dad, can you play this for me? I said, no, I'm not going to play it for you because that's not going to learn anything for you. So I want you to do it. I was like, I don't want to do it and then you move on. I want you to do it. So he's like, he tried a couple times. He got frustrated. He put it down. And then he'll go back and then he'll try it again and then he'll beat it. And then he feels vindicated, right? He feels like it's a good thing. I kind of do that now. Sometimes I don't go back though. I don't go back sometimes, Robert. Like I get to a point I'm like, but I don't go back because I don't want to go back. I go back because I've moved on to a different game and I just never go back. Love you too. Have a good one. I did, so he wouldn't close it again. And my son, we have my dog's cage. My dog's an outside dog. I built him a dog house, and he's also got his crate outside, and he likes going into his crate. And I guess sometime yesterday, my son closed his crate and locked it, right? So last night, my dog didn't sleep. It was cold. and he didn't get to go in his crate because his crate's got like a cushion and stuff in it, right? And this morning, the dog looked like he was miserable, and I was like, "Why is he so miserable?" So I go outside, and I'm like, "Oh, his crate's closed." So I got to talk to my son because he locked it. So my wife's like, "Oh, you zip tied his crate open." I was like, "Yeah, because I don't want him to close." Because I felt bad for my dog this morning. He was looking at me like my crate was closed. I couldn't sleep. That's me. I don't go back. Yeah. I took a bunch of years from Devastation because I scared of Devastators. So when I got back and finished the game, fine. And then he suckers me in and does the exact same thing. And he starts laughing again. I'm like, no, I ain't doing it. This is why I both have my brothers blocked on PlayStation, Xbox, and Steam. Yeah. Yeah. He did that same thing with Humans Fall Flat. He loves playing games like that with me. Oh, yeah, yeah. No, he loves doing that. He loves doing that. Oh, yeah, he's a troll. I call him that all the time. I'm like, you're trolling. I was like, you're a troll. He's like, what's a troll? I'm like, you know what a troll is. I'm like, you are the troll and the bridge. Suckers you in. Sounds like an amazing It Takes Two playthrough in order. Oh God. I can't do it. I can't do it. You would see frustration on my face, and I don't like it. I don't like it. I'm a pretty mellow guy. People don't think I am. I'm pretty laid back and relaxed for the most part. I used to be high strung and like I would blow a fuse pretty fast. I started meditating years ago. I haven't meditated in about 2 years, but I used to meditate years ago, and I became much more calmer. And I'm trying to become calmer again. But there's moments, man, and my son knows how to push those buttons. My son knows how to push those buttons. Asking what a troll is such a troll move. Yeah, yeah. I wish my dad played video games. My dad played video games when I was younger. One of the first games I ever played was the bowling game on the Atari 2600. My dad used to if it's a bowling game, my dad will play. My dad plays the bowling game on the Wii. He plays the bowling game on the Switch. He likes bowling games. Oh, we had a great time. This will be my last story because I gotta get going soon. But we had a great time over the holiday weekend. We stayed down there for like an extra week. And me and my son, we would go over to Grandpa, and me, Grandpa, and Grandma would play the Switch Sports, and we played the bowling, and we played the golf game. Let me tell you, man, I was crying. I was crying because my father, if you guys ever met my father, he is one of the most stubborn men you'll ever meet in your entire life, and I love him for it. Okay, he wanted to do the bowling, and my he's one of those guys that's like, I can't move my finger, my hand, because my dad used to work and crushed his hand a couple times, and he's got no feeling in his fingers. So he's trying to hold this little Wii controller, the Joy-Con controller. Okay, and he couldn't throw the ball. He couldn't release the ball, so he just kept dropping. He was getting so frustrated, and I, at that moment, could see why my son does it to me. Right? Why he's the troll and makes me angry, so he laughs. Because I was doing the exact same thing to my father at that moment. Because I told him that he had to let go of the button to throw the thing, but all you have to do is just hold the button and then do the motion of the arm. He was sitting down. He didn't want to stand up, and I was like, "You gotta stand up. You gotta stand up, and then you gotta." So he's sitting there. My dad's a really good bowler. Really good bowler. He's like a 280. Like average, right? And he's just doing this thing, and he could not get it, and it would drop. My son's crying, I'm crying, my mom's laughing her ass off. And at that moment, I was like, I'm doing the exact same thing that my son does to me. The only difference is I know how to game. and my son does it in a different way to me, right? I was laughing so hard. And then we played the golf game, and my dad is trying to do the motion like this, but in golf you got to stand sideways and do it like this, right? It was hilarious, man. It was so funny. I wonder where he learned it from. I don't know. Me and my dad played Skate 3, OG, COD, Modern Warfare 2, co-op each other. My dad would not... What type of game it is. We see some gameplay. Hopefully we get some more information in the coming weeks. You can sign up for the beta. It's called Wayfinder.com or playwayfinder.com to go sign up for the beta. There's a betas coming out for the PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, and also Steam. So check them out. Sign up on your own, on your own accord. I'm not sponsored in any way, shape, or form. I just saw it. I was interested in the game, and I figured, why not let other people know what this game is so they can go check it out and whatnot. If you guys like the content that we did this morning, please make sure you share, like, subscribe. If you'd like to go above and beyond that, we have Super Chats. There's, I think Super Thanks is... I don't think Super Thanks is active yet, and we're waiting for our membership button to go on. So thanks for hanging out today. Thanks for the conversation. Thanks for the chat. I appreciate it very much. Let me check real quick that you guys have any questions. No other questions. So we'll be back tonight for more Let's Play, 8 p.m. Eastern, right here on 30NSG. I appreciate it very much, and you guys have a wonderful rest of your day, and I'll see you guys on the next one.